So in the last classes we are mainly dealt with different schedules based on recoverability as well as based on serializability. So we are end up with schedules based on serializability. So just revising the thing. So a serializability is actually we are finding a non-serial schedule where whether it is matches to any of the serial schedule. That is actually serializability meant to be. So so we compare the conflicts equivalence as well as the equivalence of their order of any non-serial schedule that is to be matched with any one of the serial schedule. So that way we find in this example we found A and D has some similarity, and we lastly we found that they are serializable. So next we gone through different methods to find whether the particular schedules are equivalent. First method was to find the end result. Second is actually based on this equivalence, that is based on the order of operations in both schedule as well as whether the conflict equivalents are in the same order in both schedule. If they are in the same order, then we can say both schedules are equivalent. So is that way we found that the schedule D as well as schedules A are matching. Okay, and we said schedule D is actually serializable. So next we are moving to testing for conflict serializability of a schedule. Actually I stated that it is difficult to find the serializability of a particular schedule if more than 3 or 5 transaction exist. So in that case we will go for some testing mechanism. This is actual testing mechanism is actually creating a graph based on given transaction and the operations in different transaction. So the testing is like that. For each transaction Ti, so each transaction Ti. So before that we need to some detail regarding the graph. We are going to draw a graph which is a directed graph that consists of set of nodes n is equal to t1, t2 and tn. That is, the nodes indicate the corresponding transaction, and set of edges e1, e2 up to em, which shows the some flow. That means we will go and check in next slide. We will the order of some transaction. So that way we are drawing the edges. There is one node in the graph for each transaction Ti, and each edge here in the graph is of the form Tj implies Tk. That is, we will draw edge from Tj to Tk if we firstly execute Tj and next we executed Tk. So such an edge from Tj to node Tk is created by the algorithm if one of the operation in Tj appears in the schedule before some conflicting operation in Tk. So based on the order of operations of conflict operation, we are actually drawing that edges. So we can look into the edges. So firstly you have to draw the nodes based on the given transaction. Next you have to identify the edges between the nodes. So in order for identifying the edges between nodes, we have to go through these steps. So first step is we have to create the nodes for each transaction. Then from the second step you can see that for each case in S where Tj executes a read item X after Ta executes a write item of X, creates an edge Ta implies Tj. So if Ta execute first with a read item and followed by Tj execute read item X, okay, then we can say there will be a graph from Ti to Tj. So always the edge is like that. It starts from the first transaction and end in the following transaction. So for third step is for each case in S where Tj executes a write item X after Ti execute a read item X, then we create an edge Ti implies Tj. Okay, so firstly we executed read item X in Ti followed by write item in Tj. Okay, so we will plot a edge from Ti to Tj. So the fourth case is between the two write items. So firstly we executed write item in Ti and followed by write item in Tj. So we will draw from Ti to Tj. So always we drawing from Ti to Tj. Ti is the first executed transaction, and that Tj is the next executed transaction. Actually it's not transaction, the first executed operation. So the schedule is serializable if and only if the precedence graph has no cycle. So that's the last conclusion. If there is a cycle, then that indicates we cannot that schedule cannot be serializable. Okay, so we already saw this example. We can draw the graph. So here we can see we have conflict operations in the schedule A. You can see that you already saw this example. The conflict operation is write item in Ti. So write item X in Ti, then followed by read item in T2. Okay, so write item X in T1 followed by read item X in T2. So that is the only existing conflicting operation. Then the graph will be like that. You have to firstly draw two edge. So you have to make two edge T1 followed by T2, and the conflicting operations, the operations firstly based on the time, we can find that the operations in T1 firstly executed. So the first conflicting operation is only existing conflict operation in schedule A is write item of X followed by read item of X. So we have to draw an edge from T1 to T2. Okay. So next slide we can see that we draw an edge T1 to T2 and we marked the conflicting data item X. So in schedule B, we can see that the transaction T2 firstly executed, and the write item X is the last operation it executed, and next T1 started its execution, and first operation is read item of X. So the conflicting operation is write item X followed by read item X, and so firstly T2 executed and then followed by T1 executed. So write item of X followed by read item of X. So there is a conflicting operation, so you have to plot T2 to T1. This is a new graph. So for all schedule you have to create a separate graph. Okay, so we are trying to check whether the schedule A is serializable. So already we know that it is a serial schedule. Okay, so it should not be there, and no cycle won't be there in the schedule B as well as in schedule A. So here we can see we drawn the cycle, the edge T2 to T1. So let's move to schedule C. So in schedule C we can see that they are executed in a non-serial fashion. So starting from T1, first it is executing the read item of X. So we have to check whether any conflicting operation from T2. So there is no conflict operation because the first operation T2 is read item of X. So there is no conflicting between the operation of read item X in T1. So next we need to check whether read item of X in T2 have conflict with any other thing. So the next operation executing is write item of X in T1. So we can see here one is write and the other one is read, and both they exist in different transactions. So there is a conflict between read item of X in T2 and write item of X in T1. So you have to draw a fan edge from T2 to T1. So you have to draw an edge from T2 to T1 or X. So X is the item. So next we can see we are executing write item of X, then it's okay. Next read item of X, so read item of Y, and followed by we are executing write item of X of T2. So we can see that there is a conflict between write item of X in T1 and write item of X in T2. Okay, in between you can see there is a read item of y that won't create any problem, or it won't avoid the conflict. So there is a conflict between write item of x. You have to check whether any operation after that particular write item of x in t1 in t2. So you can see there is an operation write item of x in t2. So there is should be a conflict between write item of x and write item of x in t2. So first executed conflict operation is in t1, followed by the conflict operation t2. So you have to draw another edge from t1 to t2 and mark x. So here you can see a cycle in this graph that indicates schedule C cannot be serializable. So then next we can look into schedule D. Here you can see firstly we are executing some codes of T1. It is also a non-serial schedule. So read item of X, then write item of X, followed by read item of X in T2. So there should be conflicting between T1 and T2 with the write item of X and read item of X. First executed conflicting operation is in T1, so we have to start the edge from T1, and the second operation exists in T2, so you have to make the edge towards T2. So T1 to T2 there should be an edge. Next you have to check whether read item of x then write item of x followed by any conflicting operation in T1. But since there is no conflicting operation in T1, you can you need to draw any edge. So that's the end of the execution of schedule D. So here you can see you have only one edge, and we have no cycle. That's a point. So we have no cycle for the graph of schedule D. So we can say the schedule D is serializable, and we can see that with schedule A it is equivalent to the graph of schedule A. So this is the best method to find whether a given schedule is serializable or not. We are not checking through the given schedule. We have to not to find whether a particular schedule is serializable. We have to draw this precedence graph. Okay, next we can draw an example here. Here you can see three transactions T1, T2 and T3, and the transaction execution is start from T2. So that's the you have to check the time. Here is we are plotting the time along the y-axis. So we start from read item Z in T2. So we have to check whether any conflicting operation on Z following T2. Okay, so here you can see read item, after read item Z, T1 contain no operation on Z, but T3 contain read item Z, and but it won't affect because it's both are read item of Z. The first operation is on Z in T3 is read item of Z, so it won't produce any conflict. But after that you can see there is write item Z. So that indicates T2 have some conflict on T3. So you have to draw the line from T2 to T3. So just look into the graph. You can see there is a edge from T2 to T3, and first we mark Z. Okay. Next you need to check the second operation, and according to time the second operation execute will be the operation of T2 read item Y. So you have to check whether any conflict exists between read item of Y in T2 to be with T3 as well as a transaction T1. So while checking you can see firstly in T3 there is a read item of Y, so they are not creating any conflict, but in later we can see there is a write item of Y. So the read item of Y in T2 makes conflict between write item of Y. So you have to draw a line from T2 to T3 for Y. So already line is there, so you just need to mark the data item. So it is Y also to be added to that edge. Next, write item of Y. So write item of Y is there in T2. There is a third operation executed in the schedule. So it should make conflict between, okay, we lost one thing. So here in transaction T1 also you have read item y and write item y. So 100% T2 also make conflict between T1. So you have to make an edge from T2 to T1. Okay, read item y followed by there is a operation write item y in transaction T1. So you have to make an edge from transaction T2 to T1. So transaction T2 to T1, there is an edge with the letter y. Then next third operation, write item of y. So write item of y is there, T2, and transaction T3 also contain read item of y followed by write item of y, and transaction T1 also contain read item of y and write item of y. Already we draw the edge between from T2 to T3 and T2 to T1. So no need to draw again. So it's already there. And the fourth operation in the schedule is we switch to T3 in the schedule. It is like that, we are switching to T3, the read item y. So you need to check whether after read item of y, not in the time before executing read item y, after read item y, any of the transaction other than T3 contain operation that conflict with read item. So from the read item of y, we have to check down the table. In transaction T2 there is no operation based on T2 after this point of time. Okay, so there is only read item of x and write item of x. So there is no conflict of read item of y in T3 to T2. Okay, so there is a conflict between T2 to T3, but there is no conflict from T3 to T2. But you can see there is a conflict to T1. So read item of y in T3 have a conflict to write item of y in T1. So you have to draw an edge from T3 to T1, T3 to T1, and mark the edge as y. And next item in the schedule is read item z. So read item z, you have to check whether any conflict arise in between T1 and T2. So there is no operation down the table in transaction T2. There is only operation read item of z in T2, but it's already executed. So we need to check only the upcoming operation. So read item of z is not making any conflict with T2 as well as with T1. So there is we don't need to draw any edge. And next operation in the schedule is read item of x in transaction T1. So transaction T1 is a next operation, read item of x. So we need to check whether any conflict between transaction T2 and T3, and you need to check only the upcoming. We need to check only the upcoming operations. So we can see there is an operation write item of x in transaction T2. So T1 has a conflict with transaction T2. So you have to draw an edge from T1 to T2 on item x. So T1 to T2 with an item x. Here you can see in the graph. And next execution operation is write item of x, and we can see that already we plotted the graph for that. T1 to T2 there is a conflict, write item of x and write item of x. So already we plotted T1 to T2 with data item x. So next operation is write item y in transaction T3. So write item y in transaction T3 have a conflict with transaction T1, write item y or read item y. Okay, so we have to draw a graph from T3 to T1 on y. So T3 to T1 we are plotting an edge with the label y. And next is write item z in transaction T3, but it's not making any conflict with the T1 and T2, so we can leave it. Next operation is read item x in transaction T2. It's also making any conflict next item is read item y, then write item y, and write item x. So here you can see there is no conflict among those operations, so no need to draw the edge again. And even if there is conflict, we have to check whether the edge is already plotted or not. Okay, so this is your complete graph, and now we have to check whether any cycle exists. Okay, here you can see you have one cycle, it is t1 t2 on x and y, so it is a cycle. And next cycle is, you can see that t1 t2 t3 t1, so there are two cycle in this graph. So 100% there is no possibility for saying this schedule is serializable. 100% we cannot find any serial schedule that is equivalent to this non-serial schedule. So this is a so this is second example. Here you can see you have again three transactions. It is scheduled different manner. The same, I think the same operations are here. Okay, but it is in a different order. So the schedule is in different order. So starting from transaction T3 read Y and transaction T3 read Y have a conflict between transaction T1 as well as transaction T2. So you have to draw from T3, you have to draw to T2 as well as to T1 for Y. Then next operation is read Z. So read Z have check whether it have conflict on T1. No, there is no operations on Z in T1, and in T2 you can see that there is only read item of Z in T2, so it won't create any conflict. Next you have to check whether read item of next operation is read item of X in transaction T1, and you have to check whether any conflict arises. So it's arise in T2, so you have to draw from T1 to T2. So here in the graph you can see there is an edge from T1 to T2 on X. Then you have to check write item of X. So already we plot the graph. Then you can see the next operation write item of Y in transaction T3. So whether it makes any conflict between T1 and T2. Yes, it makes conflict between T1 and T2. Write item Y. So we have to plot T3 to T1 on Y. I think we already drawn it. Okay, so first operation in T3 is T read item is already the thing is drawn. Then next is write item Z. So write item Z in T3 makes some conflict with T2. So you have to plot T3 to T1. So here you can see there is a read item Z in T2. So those makes a conflict. So you have to plot T3 to T1. Already the edge is there. Just need to mark Z. Next you need to check the operation read item Z in T2, whether it makes any conflict within T1 and T2. But we can see that there is no operation in T3 and T1 on the data item Z. So next we need to check the operation read item Y in transaction T1, but you can see that it makes conflict with transaction T2. So you have to draw from T1 to T2. So T1 to T2 you can see there is a conflict. Already the edge is there, you just need to mark Y. And next the entire operation is working is in T2. Then read item of, so we now need to check with T1 on T2 because all the operations in T1 and T3 is currently executed. Okay, so here we are getting the graph, and you can see that there is no cycle in this graph. So that indicate this schedule is serializable, and we need to check what's the order of execution of the transaction, or to which order of serial execution this non-serial schedule is equivalent. So for that we need to check whether which is the path that flows through all the transaction. So we have to check in the graph which path through which when we flow we can reach all the transaction. Here you can see if we start from T3 to its right, it ends at T2, so we can't move to T1. But if we start from T3 and move towards left, first we can reach T1, and from T1 we can reach T2. Okay, so there may be possible for more than one path, but we have to check whether it forms any cycle or not. Okay, if it is forming a cycle, then you can't say it's a serializable. But if there is more than path and but it's not making any cycle, then we can say it has it is equivalent to more than one serial schedule. So here it is equivalent to only one serial schedule, that is T3 executing first, T1 then T2 then. So this non-serial schedule is equivalent to the serial schedule T3, T1 and T2.